Hopefully the killer will perform as good as Evil Ed. And I think that because this film is very straightforward. We made a horror film that is classic one, inspired by the 80s in its looks and everything. We wanted to make a celebration to the 80s slasher movies, really. So even the music is very 80s. And I think the storyline is not that complicated, and it's this kind of film usually works very well. So I think this will work as well.
And how this idea has been generated from the story to the screenplay of killing people in a different way, which is very terrific, and please share a few words regarding it.
That question, I'm really wondering a little bit about it.
How the idea has been generated, making the movie as it, because the screenplay is very terrific. I mean, killing the people in a very
yeah. You mean so how
yeah.
we use our imagination to
yeah.
find out those gruesome ways to
yeah.
kill people? That's a part of making horror movies, that you have to be creative in the ways you find the killings, that they are something that you might not have seen before, and use different techniques. And one very important thing for us was to not go so much into CGI effects, because we don't think that that's especially good for a film. If you combine special effects, CGI special effects, with practical effects, then you have a much more believable effect. And most films today, they rely too much on CGI, I think. So it almost looks like a cartoon instead of a real movie.
Even Linda costumes, she has put some extra designs for that.
Yeah,
it helps a lot, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The costumes and even the environment of the hotel was very important for this film. It had a very strange look from the beginning. And in one room, it's a red room in the middle of the hotel with a very strange carpet, and the carpet goes from the floor up on the ceiling, up to the ceiling. So we took this pattern and we made a wallpaper of it, and we put that pattern in many of the rooms you can see in the film. It gives it a special look, really.
And we wonder how you have got a thought of shooting the entire film on the same location hotel, and the trailer looks very terrific. So what was the curiosity to make this movie as such, and the man who plays the role as a killer, do you have any connection with the hotel, or is there any specific place you reveal in the movie?
Yeah, we found this hotel on the countryside, and it was a very special hotel. It was abandoned, so we could hire it for a small amount of money, and we could also change a lot of how the interiors were. So we could change the colors of the walls, and we could put up wallpapers, and we could do anything we wanted, because they were planning to turn the whole building down. The problem was that there was no heat in that building, and it was very cold when we were shooting the film. So all the actors and all the crew were freezing through the whole movie. We had only one room that was like 15 or 16 degrees. So that was dramatic. But our actor Lars Bethke, he had nothing to do with this hotel.
I think the ambient temperature is minus degrees, right?
Yeah, minus degrees. Not minus. It's like 3 plus. But it's like living in a freezer. Living in a freezer is pretty tough.
Yeah, it's very tough.
But it worked. It worked. But you had a question about Lars. How if he had
the man who is playing the role of the killer have any connection with the hotel as such?
Lars has nothing to do with this hotel. He's an actor and a musical artist.
Okay.
So he's totally apart from that hotel. But he was perfect for the role, because we needed a physical villain in this film. He should be like a panther. Very smooth in his moves, and if you see the film, you can see how he jumps over tables, and he moves very smoothly. So he was perfect for us. When he accepted the question if he wanted to be in the film, we were very happy, because he's a really talented talent guy, and he also is a dance choreographer, and also a choreographer for fighting. So all the fights in this film, Lars is the director of the fighting scenes. It's a huge problem to be both the director and the cinematographer of a film. I know that. I have done it before, and in Evil Ed, and another film that we made many years ago, I was both the director and both the cinematographer. Hunger, not Hungary, because that was another guy, Rickard, who went away. Yeah, he left us, and then we did the Killer instead. But it's a huge problem. So for this project, The Killer, I decided to take in a friend of mine that is really good in just talking to actors and make them calm. So he took that part, and I could be concentrating more on the visuals, the storytelling with the camera, and everything like that, and the light, of course. So we kind of split it, the directing role in this film, and I think it worked fine, because then the problem is for me that I'm getting so excited when I'm shooting a film that I forget about the actors that are feeling well. When we're not filming, I forget about them, and then sometimes it can lead up to some troubles.
And what was the most terrific moment that you have experienced while developing the script when you were home alone? What was the most terrific moment you experienced while developing the script when you were home alone, when you were at home?
At home.
Maybe Ghost is coming.
No, I think we were really hooked of the idea of making a film in a very short time, and then be influenced by old films like Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. I think it's similar to that film, really, and also the 80s slasher movies. I think that was the thing that went us going, inspired us. So yeah, I think it was.
And we read in a newspaper article you probably wanted to release the film in India, and what is the specific impression that made you release film in India especially?
I've always been fascinated with the whole industry, the film industry in India. Bollywood, I've only watched it on TV, and I've seen a few Bollywood movies, but not many. But I know that this industry is the greatest in the world. So it's of course very interesting for us to try to show a film from our company and release it here in India with these guys.
And have you seen any Bollywood films ever in your life?
I've seen a few. Just 2 days ago, we watched.
2 दिन पहले हम लोग गए थे अंधाधुन मूवी देखने आयुष्मान खुराना जी की.
So what was the reaction? What you really feel about it?
Yeah, I love it. It was in Hindi, so I didn't understand everything. But I actually think that filmmaking is more universal. It's not bounded to just one country, because if you have a good story, everybody will love it. It doesn't matter if you're from the States or if you're from China, or if you have a good story, people will love it.
Art is art.
When did you have thought of releasing the film in India, and what is the connection about, what do you say about Dhanjay Galani sir? I mean, being connected, professionally, how is the connection, and when did the connection start professionally?
Yeah, we got in contact with Jackie and I in this spring,
Okay.
and we were talking about film, and we suddenly realized that we had the same goal in life, and that it would be nice if we could find a collaboration in any way. And then we start talking about The Killer that we made, and that it would be a great project to try out in India, and we were all in for that. Really interesting.
Being a producer, which elements or genre in a movie do you think has more commerciality in it? Horror, blood, action, love, romance, or adult kind of movie has more commerciality in it, according to you? Which kind of a movie?
I think it depends on what you are aiming at, but I think a good film is always a good film. So it doesn't matter if it's a comedy or if it's a love story or if it's a horror movie. I think it all depends on if it's a good film or not.
And do you think the kind of money you have spent on Killer is worth, I mean, or you could have spent more money on the project as such? What's your take on it?
I think we spent exactly the right amount of money on that film because it was made in that circumstances and we shouldn't have changed anything. I think actually that it's one of our most wonderful shoots ever. We had such a family feeling on set, and everybody was so happy, and it was like we were camping in this hotel together. So we had a great time shooting the film, and it was we really never had any great problems.
And the funniest moment and the bad moment while you were shooting the film Killer, what was the funniest moment you had on this set and the bad moment?
We had a lot of the actors really were pushed to the limits, and that was kind of horrific when Alida Moberg, one of the leading female actors, she was being pushed away by the killer, and she fell over a table and down on the floor. And we had our assistant camera guy. He should throw down things on her, looking like they were falling down from the table and all over her. But we told him, you can't hit her with these things, like bowls and forks and a lot of kitchen stuff. But when we took the scene, he threw everything right in her face. And that was pretty bad, because her ears swelled up, and it was... that was a horrific moment for us. Almost hurt the female actor. But we to sum it up, it was a great shoot, and we all want to do it again because it was so nice, and we had so much fun all the time. And this thing being able to live on set, that we were able to sleep in this hotel, it was so practical because you had no transportation. You just turn off the lights in the night when you were ready shooting, go to sleep, and then wake up next morning, and then you put on the lights and you start all over again. So it was very effective.
With your own words as a producer, how do you extract the good job from the director? How do you handle enders as a producer? What do you do?
These questions might be a little bit hard, but if you want to, we can talk a little bit about our philosophy, because we have tried to make films in different ways, and we realize that the important thing for us is that everybody during the shoot is feeling happy and feeling a part of the movie. It's a we project. So that was me and my colleague Henry Kohlman's goal, that this project would be very light and very easy-going, and
regarding Jagdish and
Jagdish,
what do you have to say about the
it has been a pleasure to meet these guys.
Thank you.
We're so happy that we found each other, and we would love to find a long-term collaboration in the future. And for us, it's exciting to be able to be a part of the India film industry. That would be great.
No, sir, your own words about the film, and how do you feel releasing the film Killer? I mean, how is the feeling coming right now?
I feel I got a link from Anders. So I asked him, like, could you show me the trailer. So I watched the trailer maybe around night after my job. Actually, I was at shoot that time. So when I watched, I was like, I don't know how to express those moments. Then I immediately contacted DJ. So, sir, we got good projects to come up. So he asked me, like, okay, show me that. So once he watched, I waited for his moment for almost 2 days. Then he told me, like, this is great, let's do it. So this is how it started.
सर आपसे जानना चाहूँगा कि 50 फिल्मों का डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन कर चुके हैं आप, अलग अलग जेंडर में, एक्शन, कॉमेडी, सब कुछ, तो क्या कहना चाहेंगे इस फिल्म के बारे में कि कैसा महसूस हो रहा है आपको इस फिल्म को लेकर, और किलर के बारे में क्या कहना चाहेंगे आप?
बहुत अच्छा महसूस हो रहा है। जब मैंने अपने ट्रेलर देखा था इस फिल्म का तो काफ़ी अच्छा लगा था, और हॉरर फिल्में मुझे काफ़ी पसंद है क्योंकि ऑडियंस को भी काफ़ी पसंद है, तो उसी हिसाब से मैं हॉरर फिल्में काफ़ी ज़्यादा रिलीज़ करने में इंटरेस्ट रखता हूँ। तो जैसे ही मेरा जैक्स ने मेरी बात की, मेरा हॉलीवुड का सब प्रोजेक्ट का काम वही देखते हैं, रिप्रेजेंटेशन उधर सब एग्जीक्यूटिव करने का। तो ये जब मैंने प्रोमो देखा तो फिल्म मुझे काफ़ी अच्छी लगी, और फिर बाद में मैंने पूरी फिल्म भी देखी। तो बाद में मैंने डिसाइड किया कि इस फिल्म को रिलीज़ करना है। फिर बात हुई हमारी एंडर सर से, और बाद में हेनरिक जी से बात हुई मेरी, जैक्स की बात हुई। फिर सब चीज़ें हमारी डन हुई कि हम इस प्रोजेक्ट को करना है लाइनअप, और आज हम साथ में बैठे हैं और बहुत ही अच्छा फील हो रहा है मुझे, क्योंकि हॉलीवुड का एक अच्छा प्रोजेक्ट मैं करने जा रहा हूँ, और उम्मीद है कि इस फिल्म को मतलब हिट ही होगी। और आपने ही प्रोमो देखा है तो आपको कैसा फील हुआ, कि क्या लगता है आपको?
Let's say, what about you? What was your first move and reaction when you watched the movie? You know, you watched the movie. What was the reaction that came in?
I was my first thought was about director actually. I spoke even morning also. We spoke a lot about this movie, and especially his the camera work. I saw most of even the. I was quite impressed even with hunger. Even I'm so hungry to have hunger to
Yeah.
to be here actually. About the movie, first I enjoyed his camera work, which is really great, and his direction. So and second, the way he foreshadowed the movie, and from the start to the end of the journey was really interesting. So I feel this will do well.
जमीन सर, आप ये कहना चाहेंगे फिल्म के बारे में, जो आपने देखा तो किस तरह का रिएक्शन था उस फिल्म को देख के, किलर को देख
देखो,
के?
बॉलीवुड की फिल्में जो हम जो अक्सर देखा करते हैं उससे तो बेटर ही है, क्योंकि बॉलीवुड की फिल्में जो भी हॉरर आजकल जो बन रही है, तो पहले वाला वो माहौल नहीं रहा जो एक रियलिस्टिक हॉरर होता था। आजकल सब ग्राफिक्स और वीएफएक्स का ज़माना आ गया, तो इसलिए फिल्म देख के रियलिस्टिक मुझे फील होता है कि थ्रिल है उस फिल्म में, कुछ हॉरर भी कंटेंट है उसमें, पूरा मिक्स है सब चीज़ें। जो बोलते हैं ना कमर्शियल, एक ऑडियंस के लिए जो होना चाहिए जो कंटेंट, वो है एक अच्छा कॉन्सेप्ट है जो ऑडियंस को काफ़ी पसंद आएगा ये चीज़।
What do you say about Killer? You know, if you have to define, you know, in your own words, what you have to say about the film as such? I mean, it's exemplary or, you know, out of this box, or what you have to say about the film?
I feel definitely it will be a hit movie because I believe in Indian audience actually. They always welcome a good movies. I feel.
He should to speak English because both of them talking English.
I feel this will be. I believe this will be a good hit movie here because I believe in Indian audience.
Okay.
Because they always prefer good movies, irrespective of languages or whatever it may be. They always prefer good movies. I feel this will do better here. Do
And
well.
what about the languages you are going to exhibit? Kiss language, you know, what kind of language?
Now I'm doing English language also I'm releasing,
Okay.
and Hindi, Tamil, Telugu. I'm doing all 4 languages. If I need, I can do also Kannada language also. But Tamil, Telugu, Hindi, English I can do
Okay.
for releasing.
And what about the screens you are releasing? How many screens you are going to release the film?
I'm planning to release in India Hindi and English content in 2000 screens.
Okay.
I'm just planning to.
Okay.
Let's see now what is the situation, because now Hindi Bollywood movie every day, every week coming lot of movies now releasing. Now theaters counting very less because before is single screens, a lot of single screens in there.
Okay.
But now single screen is very close because of when GST started.
Okay.
So a lot of single screens closes now, and now PVR, Cinemax, this multiplex has come. And corporate, you know very well, these small movies and medium movies, nobody giving screening.
Okay.
That's why this is big issue. I'm trying to maximum screening I can take.
So how do you feel at lastly your both of reactions, Sir, your and sir, your reaction regarding how do you feel, you know, releasing this kind of movie in India, and what kind of?
I feel this is. I should say thank DJ because this is, he's doing a fantastic job, and I should thank Anders also. So they're doing a pretty good job. I believe Indian audience will get blessings from them. Hopefully it will be a good movie.
So how do you feel regarding it?
I'm feeling very good because I have good team,
Okay.
and now Anders and Henrik also with me. Now I'm planning also start to some joint venture with Anders and Henrik. I'm starting to Bollywood movie.
Okay.
Where this movie will Hollywood's people, celebrities also there, and Indian also will mix up, like you know very well Baywatch movie.
Right.
Rock and Priyanka Chopra is there.
Okay.
Now this movie I am doing same like this situation. Now Sweden celebrities also there. Now Bollywood celebrities also there.
Okay.
Now mix commercial masala. We do, and
No, actually we
Henrik and
discussed.
Jax.
We discussed morning actually. Like he was saying about Bollywood industry, how they are tying up with the Hollywood, and hopefully it will take off soon.
And
I believe.
very soon announce some secrets is a big thing,
Okay.
some reality show, live show. But now I don't want to say about this because when pilot shoot, after I will tell to media and audiences, everyone like this
Actually,
project because this is first time come to India this project.
So actually he meant to say like there is hidden secret behind this man, their team. So you don't want to reveal it now. Hopefully people will see it soon.
So thanks three of you for
Thank
the
you.
valuable time.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.